A couple of things here. Americans are not sophisticated voters. Americans are not sophisticated. Americans don't really know a lot of the finer gradations between who's Hamas versus Palestinian versus Israel versus Middle East. They don't know. Hezbollah, good luck. Here's what Trump needs to do to win 2024, and he's on his way. Number one, his most trusted and noble and loyal, well, not noble, but loyal acolytes, lickspittles, bootlickers, and the like are saying right off the bat and preparing you for the fact that he is going to be, or that he's losing basically by more than 5 points in a series of critical races. Very important to note. Very important, very critical. They're telling you this. Why? Point number two, they're going to be moving Gavin Newsom in and him out. Gavin Newsom comes in, Joe Biden goes away. Next, what happens in terms of the issues? Does it matter that Trump is being sued or prosecuted? Absolutely not. What happened? October the 7th. Hamas handed the re-election to Donald Trump. Hamas handed this. What do I mean? First, turn this off if you're hypersensitive. Turn this off if you are somebody who doesn't really want to hear the reality of things. But let me explain something to you. You have a very contentious left, right? This is what used to be called, theoretically, the Democratic Party. After Biden, they kind of devolved and disassembled and dematerialized into this woke radical left, whatever this group is, whose only affiliation was that they hated Trump. Yeah, they theoretically said they were all for, climate change and all that, or against climate change, but that really wasn't a part of it. Their raison d'etre, what they were about, is basically hating Trump. That's it. That's the problem. They were pretty solid. People kind of got along. And Israel was always this thing that was, that was there. And to most Americans don't have a problem with Israel. Most Americans don't understand Israel. They know certainly more Jews than Muslims. They know more Jews than Palestinians. They're not even sure what a Palestinian is. But they are okay with Israel. They know what Israel is and that there are certain factions and denominations and iterations of Judaism that they may or may not understand in their particular community. Siddim or Lubavitchers are Orthodox, and they may wear a kippah or a payas or tzitzis or whatever, but they're kind of like the Amish. Most Americans look at Jews as kind of like the Amish, kind of like benign, different, no big deal, quaint. We're too busy with the Super Bowl and daylight savings and all that other kind of stuff. Muslims, it's a different story. See, post 9/11, that did a number. Post 9/11, Muslim Islamofascism, what am I saying? Which is kind of oxymoronic. Muslims, Bin Laden, names like ISIS, ISIL. It sounds like the Yentl ISIL, like a Jackie Mason thing. Anyway, ISIS. Talk about oxymoronic. But anyway, ISIS, ISIL, IS, Daesh. Boko Haram, and now we're into something even more interesting. West Bank, Gaza, Palestinian Authority, Hamas, Hezbollah, factions and militias, Houthis in Yemen, Al-Aqsa Brigade in Iraq. I mean, this is complicated, but to most Americans, this is Muslim or Arab or those people. There's no denomination there. Next, when Americans watch TV, what do they see? Crazy, violent, bloodthirsty, blood-soaked, lunatic, violent. What? Jews here? Palestinians. Or, and this is what is being done, and if Trump and others work their representative magic, they will conflate among the folks who watch this, they will conflate the notion of Palestinians with Hamas. They should forever refer to all, parades and protests as pro-Hamas. I don't give a damn whether it's true or not. perception becomes reality. I'm interested in perception. I'm interested in the political aspect of this. I don't care about truth. Truth is, you argue truth. What I care about is what people believe. And Trump and others are conflating this. Because when you see people with Palestinian flags, wearing masks and hijabs, and screaming and yelling, especially when the American public is introduced to the fact that Hamas has basically declared war against the United States, speaking of a conflation, you have a group of people who say, yes, those people, especially those people at Ivy League law schools and those particular people who were ripping down pictures of kidnapped Israelis and those vile, profane, filthy, mouthed, profane and those coprolalic, verbally violent and sometimes physically violent folks. They're all part of this anti-American pro-Hamas movement. You see how that conflation is? Next, for years, it was a given that as far as the Americans go, as far as American politics go, American Jewry, American Jews, American Judaism, whatever, was usually prototypically and assumed to be left, progressive, liberal. Not anymore. You're seeing a fracture, a schism, a chasm, a divide between those individuals who were prototypically or used to be considered leftist and progressive. Now they're turning on their fellow Democrats who all of a sudden are saying not merely an anti-Israel or pro-Hamas, point of view, but vile anti-Semitism. Because if you listen carefully, the language of Hamas bleeds through. This isn't anti-Israel, it's anti-Jews. So for years, Jews feel a sense of abandonment from their very group. So you've got more chasms, schisms, fractures, prolonged, deep division between these folks. Do you see how this works? Yes. Now, Trump's up 5 points. What's going to happen? He is going to maintain his position. He's consistent, and voters love consistency. Say what you want, they know exactly where he stands. He's 100% pro-Israel, but he changes now the direction to anti-Hamas, anti-American. If you can fuse and conflate this notion of Palestinian to pro-Hamas to anti-American, and you compress this, and you create that meme, and especially you go after blacks, gays, women, and ask them, how would you do in, let's say, Iran? How would you do, gay Americans? How would you with your LGBTQIAMOUSC 2+2 spirit, whatever? How would you do there? This is your Democratic Party. Don't let them fool you. Oh, they pretend to be all into this stuff. But if they are showing their colors, because if they were to get their way, listen to this, they would want Hamas to basically not only destroy America, but destroy you. Now, I don't care whether you agree with this. I don't care whether you think it makes sense. That is reality. And that's how Trump wins. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos, and comment as you see fit.